Under the crimson sunset, Mount Hua was shrouded in a suffocating atmosphere. The mountain wind howled like thousands of war drums echoing from the heavens, swirling dust and dry leaves into a dizzying dance across the abyss. On a precarious cliff, two figures faced each other like towering peaks defying the storm. On one side stood Qigong, the beggar sect's chief, a man of righteous aura and unmatched honor. On the other was Ouyang Feng, the infamous Western venom, whose very name sent shivers through the martial world, as vicious and cunning as a desert viper. The air was taut like a drawn bowstring. Qigong stood firm as an eternal boulder, gripping his bamboo staff, his eyes blazing like twin flames piercing the forest shadows. His heroic presence radiated like surging waves, enough to make the faint-hearted tremble with a glance. Opposite him, Ouyang Feng wore a white cloak, its hem flapping in the wind. His eyes were as cold as twin blades, and a wicked smile curved on his lips. He crouched low, body coiling like a spirit snake ready to strike, exuding a chilling killing intent that seemed to lower the temperature around him. Chief Hong, Ouyang Feng let out a hoarse laugh, his voice echoing across the slopes. Let's see if your 18 dragon-subduing palms can withstand the venomous hand of the Western venom today. Qigong merely gave a low, thunderous grunt. He suddenly stepped forward. The ground cracked beneath him, and a cloud of dust erupted. His palm force radiated like a gale, making the surrounding stones quiver. A deafening explosion erupted as the two figures clashed. Qigong unleashed the move, Regret of the Dragon, his surging inner force splitting the air with the weight of a thunderous hammer. Ouyang Feng twisted aside with ghostly movement, leaving behind only a blurred afterimage. He countered with Serpent Shadow Claw, his hands flashing like fangs aimed at his opponent's vital points. The sound of clashing palms shrieked, merging with the howling wind into a fierce symphony. Each collision of inner force shook the mountaintop. Rocks splintered, dust billowed in thick clouds. The blazing yang energy of Qigong's palms collided with Ouyang Feng's chilling, venomous yin energy, creating a drifting fog that made the scene all the more sinister. The battle raged like an endless storm. Ouyang Feng twisted and spun, his body coiling like a serpent, suddenly springing high before diving down with the move. Spirit Snake bows to the moon. His strike was lethal, and a puff of green poisonous powder spewed from his mouth. Vegetation that touched it withered instantly. Qigong spun his bamboo staff, releasing a whirl of inner force that blew the poison away. He immediately followed with Soaring Dragon in the Sky, his palms roaring like a dragon as they hurled Ouyang Feng back 3 full zhang. Yet the Western venom did not falter. He let out a maniacal laugh, echoing like a viper's hiss in one's ear. His eyes gleamed with madness, and his white-clad figure flickered like lightning, his claw strikes targeting Qigong's fatal points. Qigong clenched his jaw, channeling all his inner force into both palms, unleashing Divine Dragon Swings Its Tail. His overwhelming palm force swept into a vortex, sending gravel flying and mingling with the metallic scent of blood and venom. The two figures battled like raging dragons, shaking the surrounding mountains and forests. Birds scattered in panic, beasts fled, and even heaven and earth seemed to hold their breath before this life and death duel. Every impact was like a thunderclap, its aftershocks rumbling down into the abyss, toppling boulders with roaring crashes. After hundreds of exchanges, exhaustion crept in. Qigong's robe was tattered, his bamboo staff chipped, and blood streamed down his arm, yet his eyes remained as unyielding as steel. Ouyang Feng's hair was disheveled, his white robe stained with mud, blood trickling from his lips, but his sinister smile only grew more chilling. At last, Qigong summoned every ounce of his strength and roared like thunder. Witness the 9 dragons united. All 18 palms merged into one, sending a torrent of energy surging skyward like dragons roaring to the 9th heaven. Ouyang Feng was engulfed in the storm of palm force, stumbling back several zhang as stones shattered beneath his feet, nearly tumbling into the abyss. He roared in rage, glared at Qigong, then whirled away into the dense mist like a venomous snake retreating to its lair, vowing revenge. On the summit of Mount Hua, the wind still howled, and the clouds rolled blood-red. Qigong stood tall, breathing heavily, sweat and blood mingling on his resolute face. Though his body was battered and bleeding, he remained as upright as a true hero beneath heaven and earth. The mountain wind now seemed less like a wail and more like a triumphant hymn, honoring an unyielding warrior whose righteous spirit towered above the storms of the martial world.